Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We've got Aaron and Ashley on the line. We're going to start with Aaron's piece here. This is your latest and greatest iteration of your Unreal level that you're going to. It's like three different spaces, right? And we're kind of looking at. We're going to look at two of them today. And
yeah, cool. The only note I felt like I couldn't hit that we talked about was this ambient occlusion creep on the thing, and I changed the way I did ambient occlusion, but it still does the same thing. So I'm a little worried and hesitant. At the end of the day, I could always blow the image up by however many pixels, right?
I was also thinking you could. Yes, or there's a few things that you can do, like. If you can't actually solve the problem, you could darken what's inside that space, which isn't ideal. You could just start the shot, like instead of starting it back here, just like start the fly through here.
Yeah, because the walls really offer nothing.
Yeah, there's you could just, like, especially if you're like transitioning from one to the other, you can like cross. I don't know. You can edit your way around that. Which was which yeah, you can definitely do. There's one thing that I noticed in this shot, and I don't know, and I think I know exactly why it's happening, but so I was looking back here at this one, and there is flickering that's occurring, but the it's something about the shadow staying very. It's like the shadow isn't moving at all.
Yeah.
Because and that's because there's a point light there, right?
That's gonna be every single one of these lanterns, which is fine. Like if it's catching you, then obviously someone who's hiring is gonna catch.
Nowhere else does it bother me. It's just that one.
Is it because it's on screen the whole time, like in the same spot? Yeah,
yes.
That's gotta be it, right?
Yeah, because like the seeing it from here to here, it just doesn't move that much. Where the rest of them are like it's happening here too, but as it's like going away, I'm just not perceiving it as much just because it's right there. And then also this time around, I've just become more aware of the cylindrical, tent nature of the fires. But I think that's just what they are, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like they're a cone with the fire shader on.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know exactly. I know I was able to change their color. I can actually change their color completely. It's all like procedural color based.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's honestly just more the shape of it. Like I was like looking here, I was like, oh, it's like you can almost see the cone.
I mean, I wonder if I could adjust. I don't know if I can. I'll look. I don't know.
I think it's, I mean, like it's what I like to call like a 5-minute note, which is like if you can fit it in 5 minutes, do it. If it's taking you longer than that, don't worry about it.
I just don't know if you can edit geometry inside Unreal. I don't think it's really designed for that, but yeah. I'll look into it.
And then if you can hit those windows up there. I don't know if you had a chance to do
that. To make them brighter?
Yeah.
So this is the brightness change that we actually discussed. In fact, so I Googled this, and this is like a known problem in Unreal, but like the sky dome will penetrate as far as it can possibly go. So we cranked up the exposure outside in the sky dome, and like now it's like in that back fire hall, which is really crazy far away.
Yeah.
To the point where like nobody had a good solution. And so I was like, okay, well I guess I'm turning it off and just editing, or like it's just another thing to edit around.
You know what? I think it's okay. Cuz like there's obviously there's sun shining in and there's a break in the cloud cover, but there are clouds back there. I can buy that as we turn on this way that there might be clouds on that side too. I can buy that. Never mind. Don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
It was just.
I mean, I don't like being the one who says I can't do anything. That's like I hate that.
I know that there are limitations to this workflow, but I think it's okay.
Well, and I think what's frustrating too is like, yeah, there's limitations, but just having the inexperience that I do, it's like, are those really limitations, or is it just limited by what I can find on Google?
Right.
Is
it lack of is it lack of knowledge, or is it lack of capability of the software?
When I was thinking about how to like edit around the sky dome problem in this room here, I was like, you know what? This is totally something that when I run into this on the floor, you ask like a lead or something, and you knock it out in 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Ashley,
which
what
is
do you?
frustrating.
Ashley, we got you here too. I'm sorry, I might have to ask because you're very close together in the real world. Um, to ask one of you to moot. Ashley, you've looked at this for a while. What do you think? Do you have any notes, any thoughts, anything that you can't say to Aaron one on one at home that you can say now in front of all of us?
I mean, knowing how like Unreal works, like I think it's pretty good. Like I mean, yeah, like I don't know, like I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I
Like
agree, and I try. I'm trying.
I understand like the struggles in Unreal and some of the things that is like, oh, I would do this, but then that might not translate into Unreal with the things that we normally do, like in Maya and
Mhm.
things like that. So
Yeah, I'm trying. Like I try and balance the coming because I try and approach because like again and even with this like I don't care how things are rendered as much. I care about what the final result is. So I try and
Mhm.
I whether it's a photograph or a painting or any 2D image at all, like I try and approach them all kind of the same way where it's like, like you look at composition, you look at color things and so that's how I try to do it. But I do know that there are limitations to this. So okay, I just want to get your eyes on there as well.
She found a tutorial online. Actually, can you
What? Oh, yeah, sorry.
she found a tutorial online and she's like, you have to watch this. This guy is like amazing. And he's showing, and she's working on stuff now following that tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this new shot she's working on. It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. I'm like, no. I'm 2/3 of the way into this project.
Yeah.
I will do the beautiful one the next project.
It's
like,
really,
this one just has to get done.
It's really, yeah, it's a hard thing when you're learning something new to be like, feel like you're being pulled because you're like, I'm getting into this, I'm doing this. And there's always that point where the project becomes hard and it kind of gets into like the nitty gritty detail. And you're like, it's really easy to bail on it at that point. But yeah, it all depends on like if you're pushing through to get a demo reel worthy piece, you got to kind of fight through that at the end. But yeah, if you're just trying to learn, then it can get dangerous where you're just like hopping from tutorial to tutorial. And a lot of it too is just like thinking that as long as if you just know how to do this one more thing, then it'll all be easy. It's just, and the reality is you just have to do it a bunch. You just have to.
Well, it's like, changing pipelines in the middle of a film, right?
Right.
You don't really do it. So
Yeah.
not that this one's a struggle, not that I'm having a bad time. I mean, am I getting a little burned out? Oh, a little bit, but I knew this was a big level. Like I had never tackled anything like this before.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to take, a while, but I am ready to kind of like get that third room done, and just kind of move on to the next thing because I know that like the next couple videos I watch, pair that with the AAA stuff. It's like the next project is just going to be better, right? And that's the goal, is to just every project gets sequentially better.
Well, I just had a laugh in my head when you were talking about the 3 rooms. It was like because this happens even when you're working on films, is that the first sequence or the first chunk of the movie that you do isn't as good as the last one, and so you almost I've worked on projects where you have to go back to what you created first and kind of redo it because it like you learn more about not only the software but like the characters, the sets, what works, what doesn't work, and like you have mistakes throughout the process that will teach you how to do something a little bit better, and then you go and then you kind of go you just kind of go full circle with it with every long-term project. So I was like, once you get done with the third room, I'm sure you'll like go back to the first, like this room, and be like, oh actually I could apply what I did here over there. So I don't know, it's kind of cool that way. All right, we should keep moving though. All right, awesome submission, Aaron. Thank you guys.
Cool, thanks.
All right, we'll go through the other ones. Aaron, Ashley, I know you got a time crunch, so if you got to hop, cool. If not, I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this stuff as well. So we're looking at an update here from Jason on the robot fight sequence. It's really cool.
I think it looks cool. I mean, if nuke is an option, I would prefer to glow almost every glowy bit possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is that really if it's just 3D rendering software? Is that really achievable in something like Maya to get like crazy glow, or is it just because it's easy in Nuke we do it in Nuke? Does my question make sense?
Totally. It's the problem with doing it in so it's the same reason why like doing a lens flare in 3D is problematic because it's actually a 2D effect, right? It's actually like something that happens on the photograph or on the negative, or like because of the lens and because of the whole thing. Like that's where glow comes from, because the camera can't quite handle these really bright values. So glow, like my window is a really good example. Like my window isn't actually glowing. It's the camera's perception of it in this 2D thing that's doing it. So like it's just better represented in a 2D software than it would be in a 3D software. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally.
So I think I that's why I always try and handle that kind of stuff in Nuke or After Effects or whatever you're using. But yeah, I think that's kind of the only way that it can be done.
My only other thing is I'm trying, and I don't know this set, so I don't know what is really at the edge. I don't know if there's a gap between the floor and the wall, but like I'm trying to justify where the white lights are coming from on the floor.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
It's because it's like so dark in here that it's hard. That it's like yeah. I think that's probably what the motivation is, that there's like a strip between them. And actually, I only played around with some overhead lighting. I don't know if there's space there. I think the problem is too is that we're not, like, you feel like there's not enough space where we should actually potentially even see the light source. Maybe not even seeing the bright spot, but seeing an area where the lights get brighter, even just down towards the bottom there, just so you, like, really feeling the light source a little bit more in there would be good. Because really it's just like a kind of a hazy glow and not like a light. Do you know what I mean? Like the light that's here is actually brighter than what we're seeing down there.
Yeah, I mean, for me at the beginning, it was just such a contrast of like, well, wait, what? Like the floor meeting the wall, that doesn't make sense. But like now that when we pause on it, I'm like, okay, well, where's the light coming from?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think that maybe adding some geometry, just some really rudimentary geometry that is a light source, would help that. Like, if the floor has some kind of lighting either recessed in it or just like a strip lighting along that edge or something, could like really sell that being the situation.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think that's smart. The other thing that I'm looking at with this is, so you've got really great interactivity of light as she kicks him. Like this right here looks great. Like you feel his innards glow. You can feel it on her. It all just kind of connects. But there's a couple other parts in this shot where we need more of that. One is like these sparks that happen around her here as she comes down. Like I'm not feeling their influence as much on her. And then I was thinking about lighting him up a little bit because she's glowing at this point, but I think it's fine because I want to read that kick more. And then as he's flying away, that's a lot of lightning. And I would think that we would see more of that light from those bolts happening there. So it's really just getting the light elements and the lightning elements to really play off that. The other thing was the glowing of her garments. I think it's cool. There's just something, maybe it's, I'm trying to think of like, because I think that these, like all the components on her skin look really good. I'm just wondering how we can get the stuff on her clothing to feel like it's actually illuminating more. It might, this is kind of dumb, but I wonder if darkening the garments would help. Because by darkening those, it actually makes the brighter elements feel brighter. And then they feel a little bit more glowy, but yeah. Yeah, I'll give that a try. Rest of it's looking good, though. Aaron, Ashley, you guys got anything else? But that's a really good note about the stuff on the lights on the floor, Aaron. I like that a lot.
Are these patterns on her clothes and on her skin, is this supplied in this asset? Or are artists doing these? Because I've seen variations on this.
I haven't seen them, if they are. I don't think so. I think he probably painted them on there, which is really cool.
They're cool, yeah.
It was interesting because I hadn't seen the shot in a while when I first looked at it, and I was like, oh man, there's some kind of hard shadow in there. But then it was like, oh, that's right. Yeah. So very cool stuff. All right. Last up we have Kat and an update to the Halloween render. I don't think we've used the word Halloween yet. This is the spooky bat, and I think that this glow, like the glowing around here, is really starting to working. I still think the fill value on the bat himself can come up a little bit, but I love what's going on with that glow around the back of him there, and then also just bringing that contrast point down. But just getting his inner value up just a little bit, just to get him to kind of read off just a little bit more. And then actually, let me just darken this so we can darken that wing. Something along this line. And the other thing that we were talking about yesterday, the vignetting, like I'm zooming out just to kind of feel this vignette a little more. That feels better. I like the light hits on top of these trees from the moon sky. I think the cat eye glow is working pretty well. I would just desaturate those colors a little bit. I would just pull back the yellow a little bit more. And so what I was looking for out of this light source, it's really cool. I see that you did it. And this may not work, but what I was thinking was it would be cool if there were, this used to be just like a circular orb light up there, and now we put it kind of in a lantern. I was thinking it would be kind of cool if there was shadows on this back wall that kind of were from that, like there were kind of lines, and it kind of created these almost like diagonals. Let me see if I can just mock that up real quick. Was going to happen. All right. So like if I just took this and made that darker, kind of blurred it. And then put that on. And like, so it would be this kind of shadow that's happening on that back wall. A little bit less. It could actually be a little bit. Bigger too. Just something back there, and if you did that twice, like on the house there. That's getting real janky now. But like a couple of shadows being cast back there onto the walls, like I think that those diagonal lines could help like build the lighting back to the character too. But if it's like, if we're not getting that, then we're not getting that from the from this, like, cause then it would be, then the light source would have to be a little bit smaller, cause the shadows might be just getting too soft. But that's kind of what I was looking for with that note. I think I love the subsurface on the ears looks really good. I'm gonna take these off. And I don't know if we have any specularity down here yet. I have to look back to see if you hit that note. If not, try and up that a little bit, because just to get, again, it's like, it's nice to get like some little details in there. Like there's a shiny rock that's kind of picking up some spec hits. I think that would be really cool. But other than that, I think it's looking really good. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's where we're going to leave it for today. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I will see you back on tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everyone. All right. Happy lighting.